So today's
Yeah.
agenda will be we'll talk around discipline, the discipline that
Okay.
you had in army, the mindset and the
Mm,
leadership quality and what can help individual to become a good leader as you have great
mm,
experience and you're helping individual to fight the battle within themselves
mm.
because the biggest
Yeah.
battle that we have is with us, not with any other. Because
Absolutely.
we have to control our mind, and if we control
Yeah.
our mind, we can do anything and everything that is possible. So welcome to very second episode of YC Diaries. So I honored to have Colonel Aditya Singhal with me. So he is the former army officer who served for Indian Army for more than 33 years and right now helping individual to become the best version of themselves and the author of book the name as Fearful to Fearless. So welcome sir here. Thank you so much for taking time for me.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you for giving me this opportunity to come on your channel and interact with you. And also, if I'll be able to give some value addition to your audience, that'll be, I would say, icing on the cake.
Yeah. So the person who is looking you for first time. So how will you introduce yourself? Can you help us to know more about yourself and how was your journey?
Okay. So yes, as you know, I served in the Indian Army for 33 years, and I'm from Amutpur. My regiment is 68 Armored Regiment. I am a tank man, and that is my core identity. I would say I take a great amount of pride in my regiment, in my organization, and because they are the reason why I am where I am today, and because there are so many things which we picked up throughout my journey. From my organization, from my seniors, from my peers, from the men who I commanded or led them in the battle. And that is it. However, before I joined the army, I also had my own struggles
Yeah.
in terms of like everybody does when we are at that age.
Yeah.
Starting from school, so I was a average student in school, barely managed to get a second division. And those days, that was somewhere in the late 70s. So ours was the first batch of 10 plus 2. So I passed out from my school in 1979.
1970.
And 79.
Yeah.
Those days, getting if you could get a second division, you're good enough. If you could get a first division, you're very good. And if you could get a distinction above 75% means you are a genius. So for and so that was one part, and so I generally was in that second division bracket, and only time I came close to touching the crossing the 60% mark was in my 10th board, wherein I got 59.95% marks. And that was the time it was like it was yes, I did work hard, and since those days we did not take any tuitions or external help. We used to study on our own. Even the parents were not in a position to help you in your studies. And uh, everybody around me, they were very happy that yeah, you were able to do well in that. They said even though TK, you may have missed the first division by a few marks, but as far as we are concerned, you are as good as first division for us. And now the thing is that now when you go for your 12th board, then you must get a try work hard and get a better percentage.
Yeah.
And I had taken the science PCM in my 11th,
Well,
12th. And so, like those days, there were very few careers available, options available to us. Like you could either go become an engineer or a doctor or IAS officer, or through that, or join the armed forces.
yeah.
Or then there was another category who would go do law and go into politics. Like you do your graduation, do your masters, and get into that part. So I was aspiring to become an engineer. I prepared from my side, I did my work hard, and but I realized that. Physics and chemistry were more of a Waterloo for me. So, but I had to finish my 12th, so I managed to do that with the second division. Then we got, luckily, we got admission in the second year because that was the first batch. Now, so we had to do a 2 years course instead of 3 years graduation. And but that's where I got the first talk of my life, wherein when I gave my exams for second year BSc, I, along with my best friend, we both failed in a second year examination. So that was a big shock for everybody.
Yeah.
And so then, anyway, we had to then perforce take tuitions in physics and chemistry so that we could prepare better and second time clear the exam. But the second attempt also resulted in failure. So we both failed again in our second year. So it was a big setback for especially for me,
Yeah.
and of course for my parents because they had many expectations. I being the eldest in the family,
Yeah.
but
Obviously.
we did not know could not figure out why what could be the reason because I did know that when I went to college everything used to go over my head like when it comes to organic chemistry or algebra or those things were very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So somehow somebody told us to go to a counselor over there in the University of Rajasthan. I did my schooling for Jaipur. And they said, you go to her, she'll make you go through certain tests, and then will be able to help you to what to do next.
Yeah.
So we went to her. She made me do those aptitude tests and mental ability and other things, psychometric tests. And thereafter, she said, "Okay, science, you are not made for science, or you are, it is not your aptitude, but maybe you can try for arts or commerce." So, but I was very clear that I was not very interested in arts, so I said, "Okay, let's try commerce." And those days, BCom had just started. It
Yeah.
was also not a very, very common subject in the 70s and 80s, late, early 80s or late 70s. So I joined a commerce college and I worked hard, of course. I had to take special tuitions and I managed to get a 65% marks in second year in BCom. So
Okay.
that was a big, big morale booster for me. And I realized that if I work hard and now that we know what you are good at, you can do better. And
Yeah.
so that is how I finished my BCom. And also during that time, I appeared for NDA, but somehow I could not clear the written exam for NDA, so I did not try it again. Then we said, okay, after completing your graduation, I'll try for the CDS. And in the meanwhile, my classmates who were there with me in school, one of my best friend had already cleared his the CDS exam, and he was uh, getting trained in the Indian Military Academy at Dehradun. So he was one of the, I would say, you can say, reason for me to try and appear for the CDS.
Okay.
So we gave the exam, cleared the written, but then when I went for the SSB, that is where again next failure was there, which I could not clear the SSB interview. But anyway, you do get more chances. So I said, okay, fine, I'll continue and try the next time. And that is the time somebody advised me that why don't you do computer programming because computers were not very common those days in the early 80s. And so I went to Delhi and did a course in computer programming from NIT in New Delhi. That was the premier organization and programming in basic. And thereafter, I worked with a private company for about a year and learned the techniques and plus also prepared for SSB simultaneously because those days important it was very important for everybody and we were made to think it is better to go and get a secure job. If you get into a government job or if you want to get a secure job then at least you know you're sorted for life.
Yeah.
Unlike in the private sector those days there was no job stability.
Got it.
So I finally cleared my SSB interview in my third attempt in 83, 84, and uh, joined the Indian Military Academy in January 86. So that was the major turning point in my life.
Point of view for
And
you.
when I was going to for my SSB interview,
Yeah.
I also applied for a few in few computer IT companies for as a for computer programmer.
Okay.
And on my way to this thing, I remember I was in Delhi and there was this company called Pertec Computers Limited where I went over for the interview and I got selected again. But I said, yeah, I'm going for some this thing and I'll be able to confirm to you only once I'm back from there. And when I went to Bangalore for my SSB, I claimed my SSB thereafter. So I told him, okay, sorry, I will not be joining you.
Okay.
And that was the major turning point in my life. And once you were in the Indian Army, so automatically everything fell into place. You got into the set routine, set training system, set procedures, and of course, where discipline was the uh, basic core of your you can say identity,
Yeah.
and that is how my journey started in the army.
Yeah.
And after I completed my training at academy, I passed out from there in June '87 and got commissioned. Journey started in the army, and then thereafter it was a different kind of experience. So we got to right the moment you join your regiment, you were appointed as a troop leader
Yeah.
and you have three tanks under you. You are commanding a troop of 15 men, and that is from where your leadership journey started. And of course, training was the I would say a kind of it was in your DNA. You were training for operations, so you were training day in day out, different ways trying to and also upgrade yourself. And you also had to know your equipment inside out.
Yeah.
So that means, like, if I ask you, do you have a car or a bike?
I have bike.
So you send your bike for servicing on a regular basis or no?
Yeah, on regular basis.
Yeah. Have you come across any situation wherein you had to do something to either repair your bike or maybe do repair a puncture or something like that?
Yeah, like once my bike got switch off, like in between it got off, so
Mhm.
I was trying like what happened. So then I just try with that tool we get in toolkit. So I tried
Mhm.
to remove plug and again I plugged it and plugged in. So after that it
Mhm.
got started. That was the only time I
Yeah.
used
Okay.
that thing.
So in the army, your equipment, like you as an officer and even your men, you have a crew of driver and gunner. So you are supposed to know your tank inside out, and you are also uh, trained to carry out immediate repairs in the battle because if something happens,
Yeah.
by the time the repair and recovery teams come to you, precious time might be lost. So we look to do the entire servicing of our tanks faster. That means taking out the bogey wheels, clear, changing the inner oil, changing the lubrication and greasing part, and opening every each and part and cleaning it and fixing it back. And say same with the other weapons like a pistol or rifle or whatever. You open it, clean it, assemble it back, and all those things. So that was the thing which you learned. And another thing was that was as far as the professional part was concerned. Then you also used to play troop games with your men, like all the team games, hockey, football, basketball, volleyball. Then, of course, we had a competition, cross country competition. Like you have these days, people are running marathons. So we used to do cross country for 16.5 kilometers.
Yeah.
Then also other tests were there. So you had to be, as an officer, you had to be better than your men.
Yeah.
And if not better, at least because then only they will respect you and then only will they follow you. Because in the operations, they will follow you blindly. If you are, you must have heard stories of the day wherein the young officer led the uh, men into battle and they captured heights in Dras and Kargil area.
Yeah.
So, leadership is something which we were not born as leaders, but we could become a leader
Because
and we could get trained to become.
being in discipline, you
That
can
is one.
get into
Yeah.
particular
So
things.
there are certain things because as we say, you have to earn their respect. You
Yeah.
can't command their respect. You have to earn their respect, and that you can earn only when you can prove to them that yes, you are equally good, if not better, and in certain things better than them. Of course, intellectually or otherwise you are better. That's why you are outside and you are the one. But otherwise also. Professionally, you're equally good and at times better than them. Then they will follow you blindly.
Yeah.
So that was the leadership lesson which we learned from the army. And you talked about discipline. So yeah, discipline is inbuilt in every person who's related with the armed forces. And more than discipline, it is the self discipline which is most important.
Yes.
And what I learned from one of my mentors is it was a very nice definition of self discipline, which I always quote that, for example, if you're in a situation wherein you have to do something, like you said you're working in IT company and you have to given a task. And so, how do you approach that task? Do you plan and follow the deadlines, or do you do you work when you feel like working? So, how is it? How do you approach your tasks which are there in your
Yeah. Like
profession?
in my office, I believe in planning because if you plan the things, it will go well. Like
Yeah.
if suddenly you have mood and you are working, and if you're not feeling, you're not working, so it will automatically create some sort of trouble or the panic. You can get panic in a situation where
Mm.
you are not able to meet a deadline. So I believe
Mm.
in planning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what else is important other than planning? In
So
addition to planning.
yeah, like in addition to planning, we should prioritize the task that we have to do. First, priority should be clear, like this is the task which is on priority, I should complete this. And after that, we can go further.
Mm.
Yeah. These are the two things
And of course,
I think
yeah,
like
and of course, planning priority, and then is the implementation, because until and unless you implement what you have planned, you are not going to get the result.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I was talking about self-discipline. So self-discipline, the definition which was given to us by one of my mentors, Brigadier Sakil Basin. He's known as a time brigadier in the corporate circle, and he's one of the top leadership coaches in the coaching community. So self-disciplining is doing what you ought to do when you do not want to do it, and when no one is watching you. Doing what you ought to do it when you do not want to do it,
When you do not want to
and
do it.
when no one is watching you.
Yeah,
No one is watching you.
watching you.
That is what is self-discipline.
Yes.
So it comes from within. It comes from within, and one said that is something which each one of us follow, and that is how we are able to do whatever tasks are assigned to us, and at times things that we choose to do.
Yeah.
And then other things come into play, like your determination and integrity, and all those things are there. But the self-discipline is the core quality,
Yeah.
and second is the character.
Yes.
So there's a lot of focus on your character as a person, like what kind of character would you have as a successful person, or as a army officer, or even in your case, like you're in a area of specialization. So you must have heard most of the time people in India, especially, say that we are the corruption is knee deep in all the government offices. Everybody is corrupt, and so many other things are there, and we observe, and we see, we feel at times helpless also. So that is where our national character comes into play.
Yes.
How do you develop that? How do you create that national character wherein you take pride in doing what you are doing, and you're contributing in the overall growth of the country and development of the country? And because we really feel that government is not doing that, government will make rules, but
Yes.
who will follow the rules? We have to
We
follow.
are.
If we do not follow the rules, then of course things will not happen the way they happen. And most common example which I quote is when you're going from, say, from your home to your office,
Yeah.
you're on a crossing. There's a red light, but there's nobody on the road. The road is empty. So what would be your natural reaction?
We'll
Will
cross the
you
road.
wait for the light to turn green or will you cross it?
We'll cross the road.
Huh.
Yeah.
So that is where that connection between
Self,
self-determining
red.
character comes into
Yeah.
place.
Perfect.
So if the light is red for me, I must wait for the light to turn green and then cross. But you must have observed most of the time everybody in such a hurry that everybody is trying to cross the signal, whether it is red, green, or yellow. Though they don't bother, and which results into chaos in peak times,
Yes.
traffic congestion, and all those things. And we everybody cribs about it, and we also know what we need to do. But still, when it comes to actually implementing, that is where everybody forgets the rules and regulations, and we try to take the shortcut.
Yeah.
So that is where the character comes into play.
And that is where we fail to miss,
Mm.
be disciplined when it comes for
Yeah,
self-discipline, as you mentioned. Do when nobody is watching.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Got it. So, just one question to you, follow-up question. So, as you mentioned, like leadership can be built. So what are the main factors that affect to be a leader, and when it comes for the skills that you should have within you if you are trying to be leader and if you want to lead? Because we can observe that in our organization as well, there are only few people who are capable of leadership, and they are at very good position. And if someone is watching and he wants to become a leader, he wants to stand out, so what would be the very first step he should take in his life to become a good leader?
So what I personally feel is we have in the army we there's a book very good book on leadership. And in the academy also, we used to learn that there are leadership qualities. Some are already there in you, some you have to cultivate. And so, if you take the 26 letters of alphabet A to Z, every alphabet has one quality,
Yes.
leadership. Starting from A is adaptability,
Okay.
B is bravery, C is commitment or courage,
Yeah.
then D is determination, discipline.
Perfect.
E is empathy. F is focus. G is uh, growth oriented, or you can even say you should also be at times you will be required as a leader to become a guide.
Perfect.
And H is honesty.
Honesty.
Honesty is again very important. I is integrity. Again,
Integrity.
integrity is important. Integrity not only for towards your organization, towards the men or the your team who you are leading, and
Perfect.
integrity towards yourself.
Yes.
So, so at these are few qualities. Other than that, then we also have that we talk about courage. When we talk about courage, it is physical courage as well as moral courage.
Yes.
What does moral courage mean? Are you ready or are you willing to say no when there's a requirement to say no?
Okay.
Are you willing to point out the mistakes or areas of improvement when there's a requirement to do so? Whether the person concerned is your friend, your subordinate, or maybe at times even your senior.
Yeah.
And most of the time, you must have observed is that we try to follow the path of least resistance.
Yes.
And until and unless something is directly affecting me, I will not say something or I'll not do something which I'm supposed to do. Why should I unnecessarily take a blame to trouble? So that though even though they are very very small things and these matter in your normal daily day-to-day life also and also in, while you're at work. And the biggest thing which we follow in the army is lead by example. So if I tell my men to do something, I should do it first. That is why you must have seen where when if you go into military, see if you read the stories of Parakram, of Vijay, and other things, maximum casualties among officers are the young officers who are either captains or majors because they are leading from the front.
Yes.
Every operation you must have seen, we must have heard the name of Batra,
Yeah.
Vikrant name. When they went to for assault, they were leading from that assault. And even you must have seen there some movies which have been made recently. Like there was one movie on Arun Khetrapal when he's a tank commander and he got PVC for that Battle of Basanta. Similarly, there was another movie called Pippa. Again, it was the story of another army officer of 45 cavalry, how he led his thing. So that most of the places, young officers, whenever any operations have taken place, whether it is real war with your enemy across the borders or in the counter-insurgency operations, maximum casualties are the young officers because they are leading from the front because they are the one who's ready to face the bullet. So similarly, if you apply it to your corporate thing, if you're expecting if you have been given some task with as a team leader, and you're expecting your team to do a certain activity. So first thing is how do you approach that task? How do you show that your commitment, leading from the front, showing them what is to be done. Like you don't tell them something to do, tell them to do something which you yourself cannot do.
Mm, yeah.
And if you do that, you must have observed that if somebody follows that path, that person loses respect.
Yeah.
People can see.
Sure. That's true. That's true.
So, so that way, you must have also realized, like especially at the top corporate, top leadership level, a lot of companies are actually following the leadership books or the from the armed forces. Like there's one very famous book called Art of War by Sun Tzu,
Yeah.
Chinese scholar.
Can you repeat?
Many
Art of
art of war,
art of war.
the art of war.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many corporate sector, many companies have started implementing these strategies which are being used by the armed forces in the battle. Or so they, in fact, I told you about Brigadier Sushil Basin. He conducts a leadership program called Battlefield to Boardroom.
Okay.
How battlefield strategies can be implemented in the boardroom by the young leaders, especially for this is mainly for the MBA graduates who are there or business leaders.
Yeah.
So that is where how you and leadership is something which can be everybody is a born leader actually if you see.
Yeah.
Only thing is some are forced to take leadership roles, some automatically take it. You must have seen while you're growing up in your school or even college, even the thing. There's some people because of that the either it could be attributable to how they have been brought up in their
Yes.
family, their education background. Some take on the responsibility immediately
Yes.
without being told. And there are some people who will wait. They'll and then when there's an opportunity where they will that time come forward. And
Yes.
there's a third category who will always remain in the background. They will never take that what you call initiative. Basically, yeah, I
Initiative.
is also for initiative,
Yeah.
integrity, and initiative. So when there's a requirement, you have to take your own initiative. You don't have to always look back to your seniors to say, अब मैं क्या करूं?
Yeah. बराबर. Got it.
हाँ.
ये होता अगर आपको एक एडवाइस देनी रहेगी फॉर पीपल हु आर इन देयर अर्ली 20s.
So for people who are in their early 20s and who are say for example that in that stage of life you are more worried about your career or a profession that you want to select for yourself. And even your parents are also more worried than you.
Yes.
And earlier, what used to happen was we had a very limited number of options available. You could be an engineer, doctor,
Yes.
or you could go in for IAS, armed forces, police forces. Maybe you could become a lawyer if you are interested in commerce. You can go in for chartered accountant. Then slowly and slowly over the period of time, the number of options available has increased
Yes.
because of the changes that has been taken place overall in the world and in the country also. So
Yes.
now that's why they are also talking about skill development.
Skill set
Your
development.
The government is talking about your new education policy. It says, okay, if somebody is not very good at studies, they are good at something else. So that should be identified before they come to that stage of 10th where they have to select a particular subject. So number of subjects available to select for you after 10th is also increased. However,
Yes.
you do not have the qualified teachers oblique trainers in schools
Who can
who will help you
help you out? Yeah.
move forward in that. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was a bigger challenge. But now, with the advent of technology, with the everything is available on the internet. Like earlier, it was Google. Now it is Gemini.
Yeah. Gemini.
Everywhere you see these ads. क्या करूं? Ask Google Gemini.
Gemini. Yeah.
So, but the thing is, कि they can, or where do they get the data from? They get the data from the existing data. They
Yes.
will not be able to give you a solution.
No.
They may give you options.
Yes.
So once you have got three or four options, then if I am at that stage, if I am 20 year old and looking for say for starting a career in AI, so what are the different roles which are available?
Okay.
And then also I should go to someone who will be able to help me identify my own aptitude and my own interests,
Yes.
and thereafter my aptitude, my interest, and the options which are available in that particular field, they will help me align all these three.
Yes.
And once all three are aligned, thereafter, then I will be able to
Yeah. Figure out.
get more clarity, figure out, and then accordingly prepare for it.
Yes.
So, for example, if somebody wants to go into AI and they are in 10th, they have to now decide whether I should take science or maths or arts or commerce
Yes.
in 11th.
Yes.
So today, for going to I, you don't need to be a science student only. Anybody can use that.
Yes.
So it doesn't really matter what subjects are you selected there. But after my school, which college should I go? Which course should I select? That I should be clear. So accordingly, I can create a timetable or a roadmap to achieve that. And the person who's guiding me or mentoring me will be there to just see that, help me in creating that roadmap and also ensuring that I follow that roadmap.
Yes.
And as far as the parents are concerned, parents also don't have too much any knowledge about that, so they can only be provider in terms of they can give you support. One is the moral and mental support from the family. Yes, what you are doing is right. We support you in your decision because ultimately it is your life.
Yes.
You have to, rather than forcing you to do what I as a parent think कि नहीं ये तुम्हारे लिए ज्यादा ठीक है या इसमें chances ज्यादा है. So there is a requirement for the parents also to be aware and be more flexible mentally. And of course, every person today needs a coach.
Yes.
He or she could be a mentor, he could, or she could be a friend, he could be a relative. It's not necessary that that person would be a qualified coach, but there has to be somebody who you can fall back upon. Express yourself openly without the fear of judgment. Because today, if you have realized that most of us, the biggest two fears that we face in our life is, first is what if it if I fail,
Yes.
if it goes wrong, फिर क्या होगा?
बराबर.
And that question starts from the family itself. First thing they will say कि अगर ये नहीं हुआ तो फिर क्या करोगे?
बराबर. Yeah. That's right.
And second is the fear of judgment. How will my people in my family judge, my relatives, my friends, my cousins, my colleagues, everybody? So we are very very worried about the how what will people say? लोग क्या कहेंगे?
लोग क्या करते हैं?
So now at the end of the day, what you are doing, your decision, your life is your responsibility.
Yes.
Everybody may agree, may not agree, doesn't matter.
Doesn't
As long as you have the conviction, you have confidence, and you also have the skills to do. If you don't have the skills, you acquire the skills.
Yes.
So for that, you have to work hard. So you should be mentally prepared कि मेरे को ये करना है, मेरे को ये मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी.
Yes.
If I am starting a career in any field, initial 4 to 5 years you have to slog.
Yes. That's true.
Whether you are in an IT sector, whether you are in a government sector or any field, or even if you are starting a business, for example, you initially you have to work hard.
Yes.
So work initial part one should be mentally prepared कि everything is not going to come to me on a platter. I have to work hard. I have to earn certain things to succeed in life.
Yeah.
And plus, one more thing which is very important is your willingness to learn and improve yourself to reach a level of excellence in that area which you have selected for yourself.
Yeah.
Because many people get stuck into getting perfection. I am looking for the perfect time, perfect opportunity, perfect environment, and as a result, most of us face this very common problem which we call procrastination.
Yeah. Procrastination. Very
Why?
common.
Because I'm waiting for the right time, right opportunity, right this thing, and so I don't take any action at all.
Yes.
And when I finally take the action, that is too late, or that opportunity is already gone.
Yeah. Got it. Because like
Yeah,
whenever you are starting at early stage, you should not run a behind perfection because
exactly.
it will
Yeah,
come up means time being like after working on something, you will get perfect onto the means perfect in that particular thing. For the key step is to start and do and keep on doing the same thing. One day you will get succeed in that. If you starting means in the
yeah.
initial day, if you are means thinking like I should be perfect, I should be perfect, you can't start anything.
And one more thing we used to tell everybody was that yeah, you will make mistakes. Making mistakes is okay, but repeating the same mistake again and again is not okay.
Yeah.
So if I when you will face failures,
Okay.
there will be a time when you will face challenges. There will be a time where you may not be successful in your first attempt. But now, what do you learn from that? What is the lesson learned from that? When you do self reflection,
Yeah.
okay, I went for an interview. I did not get selected. What questions were asked to me by the panel? What kind of answers did I get? What was their response? Where can I improve?
Self evolution.
And then I work on then self evaluation.
Yeah.
And also at times, one more thing which happens is that we get obsessed by our things which we need to improve, and as a result, the things that we are good at, we forget about them.
Yes.
So one has to realize also and identify what are the things I am good at. So I should try to improve upon that also.
Yeah.
So if you're good at public speaking, for example, or if you're good at a you talked about coding. Okay, you said coding was not what I you were looking for,
Yeah.
but if somebody else is good at coding, or so how can I use that quality of mine to if I have to go into AI, if I have to use a particular agent, like if I have to use Claude to generate a code for me for a particular problem.
Hmm.
So my knowledge and experience of coding will help me that I do not blindly follow.
Yeah.
It will give me a solution, then I should be able to validate or verify it whether it is correct or not.
True. Very true.
So the one should not and that happens when you are try to be perfect in your race for perfection. You forget about your good qualities and you lose the plot. So
Yes.
one has to be aware. One has to be focused on what is there right in front of you.
Yes.
And once you have a thing is over, don't dwell. We do not. We should not dwell too much on the past, whether it is success or it is a failure.
Yeah.
At times, those things. If we keep on thinking about the past, कि पिछली बार मैंने किया था ये हुआ था, तो that also at times prevent you from taking action.
Yes.
Because in the back of your mind, you are still doubtful कि if अगर अभी करूँगा फिर दोबारा same thing happen, then what will I do?
Yeah. That's true.
That again causes that person to procrastinate.
Yes. We should never think about what
So
like we should move on from that thing. If you keep on
we
thinking,
have to move on.
yeah, again it will
Absolutely.
we'll fall in the same loop. We'll get back to that same shit, and again
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
yeah
Absolutely.
yeah got your point. Yeah. So like I think it was a great session and meaningful insight from your end. Like I learned a
Yes.
lot of lessons as you mentioned. So this was your entry in our diary, YC Diaries.
Oh,
So
wow. Thank you very much.
whenever you will be looking back on the session, like a year back, I had a session, and definitely you will see me at height. I believe I can be the best in this game, and definitely I will beat this. And the mindset and the clarity that you have given, how should we think, and what are the points that we should focus on when you are starting something, when you want to build something, and when it comes for the leadership. I really like the point you mentioned. If you don't have skills, acquire it. If you
Yeah.
don't have the skills, acquire it. Yeah, that was my take from your complete conversation. And definitely I'll work on it, because skills are not something that we get from a birth, that we have to develop.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That was my learning, and it was
Thank you.
that was a very helpful session for me as well, and it will be a well helpful for our folks who are watching this. And it was great conversation, I must say. Yeah, thank you so much for
And yes,
time. Yeah.
one thing I would like to share with you is again one of my another mentor, Mr. Arsin Khan, with whom I am working, especially related to mind hacking coaching, is that every person has a different story,
Yes, that's true.
and let your story inspire the world.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you started something which maybe you may not have thought 4 years or 5 years back,
Yeah,
but you have started, and this is episode 2.
yeah,
And I'm sure in maybe by the end of 2026, you would have already done more than 20 episodes with interacting with different kind of people, and you would have left an impact, and you would have created your own legacy.
yes, definitely.
And like I never thought, imagine in the wildest of my thought that I will write a book.
Yeah,
But when I became a coach, then I was told that your book is like your visiting card. If somebody asks you what do you do, you give them a book. This is
yes,
read this. This is what I do.
yeah,
But like there's certain things which cannot be explained in words. They have to be experienced.
yes,
And transformation is again something which is experience, and that will happen only if you're willing to do it. So there are two things. One is want to do or willing to do.
yes,
We want to do so many things, but are we willing to work towards achieving those things?
yeah,
If you're willing to achieve, work whatever it takes to get, for
that thing
example,
done.
you want to become the number one podcaster in the industry by the end of this year.
Yeah,
I want to become the number one in my thing, but am I willing to do what it takes, whatever it takes for me to reach that level?
yeah, for sure.
Acquiring the skill set, reaching out to people, improving upon things like in the management language, we talk about Kaizen, continuous improvement.
Yes,
Like every episode, when you record, you'll realize that there would be certain things which you can, which were good, and there would be certain things which you feel, yeah, I can in next volume I can improve upon that. So if you are observant, and if you are willing to do those minor changes
changes. Yeah, in your
as and
routine.
when required, so definitely you'll become better.
Yeah,
Nothing can stop you from becoming better.